Tune in to UFO Undercover, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, with your host, Joe Montaldo, right here on the Paranormal Radio Network.
Well, you drove out there into the middle of nowhere and had some sort of loud verbal display challenging E.T. in general out in the middle of nowhere?
That's what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand at the time. I was really ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
Was a Louisiana man named Montaldo. Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Works with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out a reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline or anything like that, you know. Seriously. Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yells, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch." Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's start this conversation. Let's start this conversation. We got no relation. Night has come, it's cold and losing my control. The light is gone,
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of Native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
Every time I hear that, I think of the X-Files. Welcome everyone to UFO Undercover.
I think of Hunger Games, actually.
Though TJ's getting, I think he's just always fucking hungry is what I'm thinking. Oh, beep.
It's a good movie too. Well, 3 of them anyway.
Yeah, I don't watch movies. It's like against, especially
What
if I
happened to the background?
I don't know. It got dropped somewhere. Let's see.
Yeah, I hit it twice, I think.
Yeah, it happens sometimes when we're cruising.
Did you see what I was doing there? I kind of used the since we weren't we were just listening to the song. We didn't have the video that time. I used the background as sort of a cheap promos, throwing other people's slides up there.
Well, yeah, you can. I mean, that's. I mean, it's useful for those kind of things. Anyway, guys and girls, welcome to UFO Undercover. I hope y'all really are having a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on our big, beautiful blue planet. I've been saying that for over 30 years now, if you include Wake Up USA. So, really and truly, I don't know currently any UFO shows out there that's as old as this one anymore. There was a couple, but not anymore. With Kevin Smith and Jerry Pittman's death, they were both a couple of years ahead of me. Roswell switched owners and people so many times that they don't count anymore, and I don't. Everybody else started after me. Yeah, when it was podcasting, we were one of the very first podcasters out there. I know, and that's some shit just kind of walked right into it.
Probably back when it was called vlog.
It was called all kind of stuff. Yes, people, video blogging. Yes, it was one of those times in the 90s that you just not all names are good names. Let's just leave it at that. Sometimes why do you
think they came out with podcast?
That's right.
Sounds less geeky.
Jimmy, no, the mouse looks like it. That's why it kind of looks like that, because the mouse kind of looks like a mouse. Especially the old one, before they got all fancy and stuff, when they were just
before they were not wireless, they had a little rat tail coming out the end.
Well, like this one. Let's see, this one has a wire on it. It's well, because some of the stuff we do, it's better not to hit wireless stuff. When you're live, anything can interfere with a broadcast.
Oh yeah.
No, the mics are hardwired. They go back into a USB somewhere, and the earbuds are hardwired to the mic set. No, you can. I mean, we run audio all the time with being wireless, but wireless is just dangerous. I mean, electrical.
There's also a neat trick you can do to get really clean. It has to be wired, but I figured it out. One of my teachers in video class, he had to do a video out in like somewhere in Alaska, like during like like blizzard conditions, windy and loud, atmospheric conditions. So in order to keep the mics from getting wind in them, do you know what he did with them? Instead of putting them here or here, you put them back here on the back of your neck. If you put the lavalier mic right here, you have to tape it to the actor's neck, and then you can put the clothes around it, and the clothes keep the wind from making noise in the microphone, and you pick up everything he says 100% clear because it's coming through his muscle and bone. You're not getting it from his mouth, so you get like the perfect volume level. It was the neatest trick I'd ever heard of. And I come to find out that's what the Air Force and the Navy used in World War II. They had microphones right here. They were called throat mics, and they would go, "Yeah, this is so and so calling in."
Jimmy, no, we got a couple. I got some people sent me some other stuff. Someone just sent me this one, new 5 insane new UFO sightings caught on camera. No, there's a bunch of them. We're gonna go through different ones, and
Let's
well,
check.
we got
I'm
to
ready
be.
to debunk a whole bunch of them. I'll bet some of them are fake as hell.
Um, what's that, Jimmy? No, we're gonna probably be using a lot of that for YouTube and Rumble and places like that. Why? I mean, if you got them, send them.
Yeah.
You can send them to my email, iCarCox. Oh, by the way, while I'm on this subject, so we're still giving away the artwork for Writers of the Future, the book cover. Actually,
Oh wow.
it's just a cover. It's just the artwork,
And who did
and
the art?
it was oh, he's really famous too. His name is confusing right now. I think he's in charge of all that stuff for Disney. Let's see if I can find it.
Yeah, Emmenberger or Bob Egg.
It's
He's
something like
he's
that.
got a hard to pronounce last name. Even I have difficulty with it. I'm pretty good with
Let's see.
names like
It's the short story. Illustrated edition. Jody Lanai is one of the coordinating judges. I know it's in here somewhere. Actually, I know the guy. The sad part is, it's a shame on me. I can't think of his name right now.
It's Bob Emmeninger, isn't it?
Something like that. Let me see. It says it in here somewhere. I know, actually, James, we're giving them away, but not this particular one I got. No, these are signed copies. No, it's in here. Well, you know what? We'll just do it old school. How's that? But all the artists had signed their artwork in the book. Yeah. So we just find that little happy picture. There's a lot of good artwork in here. No, a lot of these people are really talented, much more so than I am. Some of my favorites too. There's stories to some of these artists. Unfortunately, some of the stories I can't tell because I'm not pervy. It's Cirillo Cabriel.
Cirillo Cabral.
Yeah, that's closest you're gonna get it. Yeah, that's actually does quite a lot for quite a lot of people. We were talking with him about some of the stuff they do, and when he's not there,
while we're talking about it, we can be actually showing it. Look at that. There it is.
I can't see that much videos on the wrong page, obviously. Oh yeah, there you go. That's his work right there. Really nice person. Well, you had two of the big wigs in from Disney art. One of the ones from Amazon, and I forgot who the other one was.
And he's from Spain, where a lot of legendary artists have come from.
Yeah, and by the way,
Picasso, Dali.
Writers of the Future flew him in just so he could hang out with these artists that won.
Cool.
So he's in. They put him on an airplane, brought him and his girl. I don't know if his wife or his girlfriend. I'm not sure, but they came over and hung out with everybody. Really nice people. It's Jack, it's an interesting question because I keep us. They're in the other room right now, but I keep a set of translator earbuds with me, just in case. Well, you never know because sometimes some of the winners' first language isn't English.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy if they're translating because I can understand them better and they can understand me better. It's just an easier way of doing it. But anyway, so we're giving these away. We started giving them away yesterday. Anybody who's purchased one of these or went over there by the site and was looking at getting them or getting them, you can send me your email to iCartCox.net. Doesn't matter how hard who you are. You can work for the station too. It doesn't matter. And I will send them over to John, and John will mail you out one of these copies. Yeah, so actually go listen to the archive, but I don't think there's anything on it. I think it's just the art. Yeah, without the Writers of the Future stuff on it. Stuff. Sorry, that's my bird alarms going off. But anyway, just go check it out. That's not what the show is about tonight, but you can go check it out. It's a lot of good artwork over there, a lot of interesting people to hang out with when I'm there. But tonight, I get people send me pictures of UFOs, and what got me on this kick tonight was just recently somebody sent me a picture of a local UFO not far from where I live right now. Now this spot is pretty intense. There's been a lot of sightings in this particular area over the last few decades, but even before that, even when this belonged to the Indians, there was a lot of sightings in these particular areas. So it's not unusual to hear about one. This one just seemed to have took its sweet time crossing over 3 counties along the Gulf. Now, inland, what's funny about Mississippi is if you go inland above Interstate 10, a lot of that's forest. So there's nothing there. The cities but along the coast, it's packed from
A
one
lot
end
of the central of the country is mostly unpopulated as well.
Yeah. So the thing of it is, but they're flying where they know it's busy. They're flying along the coast, along the beaches, and it's the beginning
where
of
the
summer.
populations are. Yeah.
And it's the beginning of summer, so people are going to be out and about. People are going to see you. And this time of year, people are getting ice cream in afternoons and evenings and middling around and just generally, doing beach stuff because it's a beach town. So they catch this thing on cam. I think the whole thing lasted like 30 minutes, which is unusual for a UFO. But for some reason, you couldn't download it from the local media company. They blocked it. So then I said, okay, well, I said, screw it. I'll just play it. It wouldn't let you play it either. I think the company's Gray Media. I think is what they call themselves, something like that. It's
So how do we get to see it?
No, I don't know. I think that one. I don't know if we're going to get to see, but we got other ones to see. But I'll look for it too on maybe doing a different kind of search on YouTube. It might come up. Well, Jack, Florida's always got UFOs flying around. A hell of a time. I'm not sure if they're alien or just some weird shit left over for some remnants in the past. There's some weird shit flying around in Florida. I mean, I've seen stuff down there myself that makes you go,
I mean, not far from there is the Sargasso Sea, and I believe that's the location where Christopher Columbus and his 3 ships spotted one or more green orbs exit the ocean and terrorize not terrorize, but kind of like observe their sailings for a little bit.
It's what are you talking about? The big Nina, the little Nina, and the big daddy Nina. What the
the Nina, the Pinta.
So what are you saying is the 3 ships were trans? I got
Triangle is near there, so another thing.
Yes. Bimini Road's near there. All of that layout between Cuba and the islands.
Those 3 new archaeological sites out on the west and east coast, north and west coast of Cuba.
John, it's hard to get information on Cuba sunken. It used to not be. In the early 90s, it was everywhere. And then it started drying up, and I kept as much as I had at the time. I still have in my computer, but it's the only pictures that are left are the pictures on the north side, the northwest side of the island. Yeah, if you're on Cuba, it's the northwest side of the island. If you're in America, it's the southeastern side to us. No, it'd be southwestern. I'm sorry. Still be west. Well, no, because we're looking at it from north to south, and they're looking at it from south to north because they're below Florida. So they're looking north when they're looking. So for them, it's on the north side of the island, on the western north side of the island. And I think when last time Jay and I checked, it was in 850 feet of water.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, but you always hear about 2,000.
Depending on the high and low tide, probably 1,000 feet at the most.
Yeah.
Not terribly underwater. We can still dive to it safely and all that.
It's intact. There's not a bunch of debris laying around, which doesn't suggest it was like a volcano, an earthquake, or a blew up city. So the only 2 things the only thing I can think of is the water just rose. The city didn't
Great
sink.
flood.
And it was probably a slow flood at that because there's no real toppling of buildings or anything.
The slow melting of the ice caps.
Yeah. No telling how long it took to get that deep there, but because there's been other discoveries, pre-Mesoamerican pottery and art, which isn't supposed to exist, because that puts it back around 5,000 or 6,000 years, which there wasn't supposed to really be
even
civilized.
Earlier than that. I've proven that the ancient Japanese people, traded their DNA and their art, their clay art. They call it ding. You go to any Mexican restaurant. I mean, it sounds like lame evidence, but it's verified. They put a little 3-legged pot on front of your table there with salsa and chips. That artwork comes from Japan.
Oldie goldie stuff. No, Jane. Oh yeah, I'm glad Jay brought that up. So science finally caught up with us. I've been saying for decades that you can't have a healthy population of 7 to 8 billion with you starting from 2 parents, mom and dad, Lucy and Lucy's,
There has
Grandfather,
to be more
yes.
than one Garden of Eden. I swear,
So
I believe it too.
so now since the DNA project started, DNA is being sourced from all around the world, and they're finding out that no, they're thinking there's a minimum of 10 DNA sources, a minimum, and mostly in around Europe, Middle East, and North Africa, but yet some seem to have been from the other side of the world, which means they were completely different strains and didn't interbreed until after the two worlds met, whenever the hell that was, 1,000 years ago or later, actually.
Yeah.
There was no significant interbreeding until probably 600 or 700 years ago.
Some of the native Indians of South, North, and Central America look 100% Japanese. They're not, but they have those genes. They have the eye folds, everything. They just their skin color is a little richer of a brown color.
Well, Jimmy, for some reason, a lot of the islanders all had long jet black hair for some reason. Um, it's
Look
no,
at
it's a,
native
Polynesia's the
First
same
Nation
way.
peoples. They have silky, beautiful jet black hair.
Well, see, that's the problem, Jane. So when they started finding all this DNA, they realized that it didn't all come from Africa, and it definitely didn't all come from the same parents, which we already knew, because anybody who knows any basic structure of how DNA works knows that you have to have a base population, have a healthy population. So in other words, if we only had 100 people and that was it, the interbreeding would have been so horrible in today's world. It would be an
We have
80% to
hands coming out of our
20%.
faces.
Yeah, you would have 20% of our society would probably be gifted, but the other 80% would be garbage. So you have to have, so in the old days, for there to be a healthy population of 5 billion, you needed a base population of 3,600 minimum. And it can't just be 3,600 like in one area. So in other words, you had to have some like in Africa and some in Europe and some in Asia. And these groups had to have been breeding together
You don't
and
develop the
creating.
different, diverse, minor differences in our skin structures. Asian faces have different eye structures than European and South American and so on type peoples. Skin color is a thing. Bone structures, some are denser and thicker, some are longer. What's that? There's that tribe in Africa. They're like the average height of like even the females is like 7'7". Their bones are like longer and skinnier than most. And then you go back like to other or just most recent generations like Homo erectus, Homo habilis, and those kind of guys. They probably didn't have their height's probably somewhere in the order of like 5'6" to 5'7", like max for the males, but their bones are a lot shorter. They're a lot thicker. Their muscles are much denser and thicker than ours are. So it's kind of hard to see how we're related because they're physically were stronger than us. I mean, they were a single adult male Homo erectus could pick up two full-grown 6-foot tall Homo sapiens and throw them like they were softballs, hundreds of yards. It'd be no problem for them. That's how strong they were. We're not like that. We can't do that.
Yes,
Not on this planet.
brain power is what kept the tigers and the lions and the gorillas from eating us on the African safari. So now you understand that we weren't just on the African safari, because we would have never survived. Humans, didn't matter how smart we were, we weren't that smart back then, and we weren't outsmarting lions and tigers. First off, we had to get to a population large enough that we could actually fight back, and running around on savannah by yourself is not the way you do that.
What's the song? What's that old King Crimson song? Neurotica. I have no claw, no fin, no wing, no stinger. I have no more to say. We have nothing natural weapon wise against animals except our brain. If we could not develop tools, you know what? We're dead. We didn't exist. We wouldn't even be here.
We'd have been
It's our
extinct a long
brains and our
time ago.
tool making ability that made us what we are.
So, and since that's a good segue, so why can't our tool ability help us to understand what extraterrestrial craft really are? Why do we have such a hard time distinguishing between something
Because
that's
I'll tell you
probably
the reason.
ours?
You have the answer in the question, because we don't have the tools that they built those devices with. The tools that we have are nothing compared to what I mean, imagine some society being even just 1,000 years ahead, advanced of you, of where we are now, of where we could be 1,000 years. Just use your imagination. You can watch it in Star Trek. Imagine the tools they have. We don't have anything like it. If we had those tools that were used to build that device or devices very similar to it, then I'll bet you $5 our understanding would increase 100% in about 2 or 3 weeks. It's not that hard to take things apart. It's a lot harder to understand how they were put together when you don't have the right tools or those tools that were used to put them together, which is one of the reasons why we don't understand the pyramids. We don't have the tools they used to put those together. We
Well,
don't know where they are.
we got more of them now since that new finding. We got more of
But
the
we
tools.
don't have the entire toolbox. Is my point.
And it looks like we may be pushing back finally Egyptology back a few more thousand years than where they are.
Yeah, the timeline is still off.
Well,
Eric, they're both passed. Maybe we can segue to David Wilcock for a minute, but Eric von Daniken and Philip Coppens, both gentlemen, before their passings, wrote books very similarly titled called "History is Wrong." Both men were correct. Both men's books are on similar but different subject matter in the paranormal area. But both of them were 100% correct, and both of them said basically the same thing, that almost all of our history books very soon are going to have to be rewritten, especially as we start discovering things like Dwarka and these 3 sunken cities around the northeast coast and the west and southwest coast of Cuba. I've been saying it for years and years and years. The reason why we don't have all of our history is because most of it's underwater. When the flood came, if we can, and we do believe the flood came, all the water, if it wasn't where it was, the ocean used to be in between, in the middle of the United States. It's been shifted to where it is now. All of what was our history is most of it's underwater. That's why we don't know what it is. Most of it's rinsed away, gone, never to be retrieved.
yeah, well, when the ice age was full blown, we were expanding all over the place, and when it came back, we found ourselves, because we like to build along coastal areas, we found ourselves, ooh, most of our cities were gone.
Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Yeah. The high
Jimmy,
tide's coming in a little closer each week. Let's get out of here. Yeah.
well,
That's exactly the problem.
Some were glaciers headed towards them. Some were glaciers receding that had been built on top of earlier.
I have a question for you. Why don't the scientists understand this? I mean, if you just think about just the mathematics of it, and I suck at math, by the way, people, I absolutely do. The planet is 70% water, 7/10 water, and we explore mostly the land for history, which we found a lot, by archaeological digs and what have you. But we don't really have a lot of that going on under the water, and that's where most of the answers are. Why don't they understand this, and why aren't there more? They're doing marine biology underwater, but they're not doing marine archaeology underwater.
Well, no, they do some marine archaeology in the water. It's just harder. It's harder
by accident, though. It really is.
Well, a lot of it is, but so what they do is on ground stuff.
How do we find Dwarka? It was by accident.
Well, see, but this is the thing. See, on ground stuff, we can use LiDAR from space to locate it. LiDAR doesn't work as good through deep water. It scatters and refracts, and so even if it's in shallow water, they can find it. But if it's in deep water,
now that they're not used, that they've declassified and decommissioned the CERTAS system. Whatever they're using now, I think it must be like computer aided tomography that they use for looking for medical stuff. I'm pretty sure they're using something to that order to map the bottom of the ocean, and they may know more. I'll bet you $5 they do. They know.
Well, they've been dragging whatchamacallits across the top of the ocean for decades, mapping the ocean.
Oh yeah, hydrophones, yeah, sonar.
Well, they're not just that. They have it's a scanner type thing. It's like it's not really a camera, but it gives you a picture of the bottom, but it's not infrared. It's I forgot how it works.
I don't know what it's called either.
But it works pretty good. And so, I mean, they've been doing this a long time, and they've been going back and forth. And we got submarines all over Yin Yang, and so does everybody else. And so, I mean, a lot of
most of our submarines, even the declassified ones, their depth their depth at operating depth and emergency depths are still top secret classified. So I mean that's
because they're way shallower than they want to admit to.
yeah.
People, the ocean gets really deep. We're talking miles. Our ships can't go down that far.
So far, the deepest part of the Pacific we have discovered is the Marianas Trench, which is on the order of 8 to 9 miles, depending on high or low tide.
Yeah, and now they're saying there's something in the Gulf deeper. So something we were talking about on this show just recently. Don't ask us, people. We were just as surprised as you. I always thought the Gulf was between 4,000 and 8,000. I didn't know it could go between 8 and 12. I was like, well, would you excuse me?
Yeah, the Gulf of America, Mexico, whatever you want to call it, is somewhere on the order of up to 15,000 feet deep at the deepest.
Yeah. Well, we know that big whales and all go up in there. We know that submarines go up in there but you know what? Every time a damn sub gets in the Gulf, as big as the damn place is, they still seem somehow or another to run into each other. You just got to wonder what the hell is going on.
Well, I mean, you kind of basically have a blind fish, swimming around with another blind fish, and accidents happen.
Yeah, I remember last time.
There's on military submarines, there is not one porthole, not one glass window anywhere on the outside of that building or that ship, rather.
Nope.
Boat. No glass, no external windows. They are, without their sonar, they are so blind. Even bats can see better than they can.
Yeah, it's like our pilots that fly in bad weather at night.
Mm-hmm.
They fly by wire, flying on radar.
Fly on instrument only. Yeah, I can imagine how scary that is.
Well, Jim, you have to get used to it. It's airline pilots do it all the time, but
I don't know. I mean, you're going, 7,000 miles an hour. You're in the clouds. You have zero visibility. That's, and you're going so fast. If something does happen that you can't see, it's over.
Yeah, but I mean, most jets are doing like Mach 1, Mach 2.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, 7,000 miles.
No, that's 7,000. That's hypersonic. Yeah, that's all an ass.
750 miles an hour, something like that. Yeah, okay. Yeah, Mach 1's like 777.
Yeah, I think that would be 10 times the speed of sound. Is 7,500 miles an hour or something.
Yeah, that'd be like Mach 10 in sound. Yeah.
That's still hauling ass, but nothing to get you anywhere. People, when we talk about hauling ass on this planet, and then you try to put that into a cosmic scale, that is like turtle slow. I mean, it is like put. Which sounds like it's fast when you hear things like 300,000 miles an hour, and that is fast. But in the grand scheme of the cosmos, that is like doing 5 miles an hour in a 50. You would just putting on. Yeah, on a spaceship, it would feel like forever to get somewhere.
Yeah, and the cosmic limit has been increased. I don't know who came up with it. It was probably Friedman, but they used to say, scientists anyway, used to say that the fastest you could go was the speed of light. There was no, Star Trek was wrong. There is no faster. But they've recently discovered that there is faster than light. So there you are.
Yeah, they found out. Actually, they've been knowing for a while. They found out there was a satellite monitor in Jupiter, and they found out that as light approaches Jupiter, it actually exceeds light speed. And when it leaves Jupiter, it actually slows below light speed.
Below, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that was stuff they just wasn't expecting to find. They thought light speed was constant and it didn't change. And guess what? Gravity apparently affects every damn thing.
Yes, it does.
Justin, no, it was serious. It's a serious thing because remember, we were all taught going to school, nothing goes faster than light. Now we know that that's not true.
Yeah.
Even light goes faster than light. So,
correct.
Well, it's a learning curve. I mean, it's like anything else.
We're infants, people. We know nothing of what's going on.
Look, we're going to space no matter what, even if it's the stepping stone way. Where
we're already there, dude.
I mean, we're going to space. That's just how it's going to be. For a while, it'll take us good bits of time to get places, but eventually, we'll either get established where we have people everywhere, or we'll finally have faster than light travel, or wormhole travel, or something. Space folding technology. Well, it doesn't always have to be, Craig, faster than light technology. Wormhole and folding space are not faster than light. It's creating an energy point between two places, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of like cheating. You know, instead of traveling the distance, you kind of like jump over a puddle, and you're there instantly.
Yeah, it's just an interesting way to do it. Well, I mean, there's lots of. Well, right now they've got a drive that works off a light. There's no moving parts, and the light just keeps moving through the system until it gets to a point that it's creating so much energy that it'll easily push the craft faster than light. And I've said this a million times: light speed isn't going to be what holds us back. If we don't already have it, we're well on our way to getting it. Our thing is we have to be able to see to Proxima. So if we're going to leave Earth and haul ass over there at light speed so we can get there in 4 or 5 minutes, then we have to be able to see between here and there at real time. So we're not colliding into stuff. And not just that, when we start making long trips to big jumps, we're going to have to be able to see between us and at least 1,000 light years out, if not further, probably more like 100,000 light years because you're traveling so fast that you don't have time to react unless you can see that far ahead of you. So that's going to be the challenge, not so much fast and light. And eventually, as we build space stations, we won't have to worry about faster than light sensors because we'll have sensors all over the place. They'll be all interconnected. So you'll always be warned when something's coming. But that's still a long ways off. So
yeah,
give us about 10,000 years and we'll be there. But anyway, let's see what this is. This looks like a freaking orb. I didn't even turn this on. It looks like an orb. Oh, let's see where I lost the video.
Sure does. It's Mork. He's come back.
I know. And his little egg.
Yeah.
Actually, Jesse, I'm trying to find out what I did with the damn thing. I just had it open and now I moved it.
Yeah, you were clicking on it before.
I know. I just had. I was just. Where the hell did it go?
Look at the video. Look at the tab that has the blue rectangle. That's the one you want.
It don't have one.
It should.
Yeah, it should. Because I don't think. I think it's on something else actually. Okay, yeah. See, it's in a different set of windows, so it wasn't showing up in the other set. I don't know why it's in a different set, but anyway, we found it, so that's all that matters. Go back to this set of windows. Go back to there. All right, here we go. Let's pump up the volume. Click it on.
South Downs National Park, a vast area stretching through Hampshire, West Sussex, and East Sussex in southern England. The footage, recorded in 4K with both a Nikon P1000 and an iPhone, shows a silver orb seemingly motionless in the sky for over a minute. The person behind the footage had been actively searching for an opportunity to film a UFO in high quality. In late January, he connected with an individual who claimed to be able to summon such objects.
Prophet Yahweh.
After coordinating a time and place, they met at the agreed location to attempt the experiment.
I seen that orb and I knew who it was.
Weather conditions were optimal with clear skies and a 10-mile-per-hour wind. And sure enough, moments later after arriving, a metallic orb suddenly appeared. Estimated to be around 400 meters away, it remained visible for roughly 20 minutes, during which it appeared to stay in place despite the wind. The witness noted in his report that if it were merely debris caught in an updraft, it should have drifted over 2 miles in just 13 minutes. Yet it remained at the same distance for the entire encounter instead. The object made subtle vertical and lateral movements before eventually ascending and disappearing in less than 20 seconds. One strange aspect of the footage is a persistent blur field around the object. While zooming in, the witness noted difficulty in keeping the image sharp, as the camera would briefly focus before a hazy ring would appear around it. This effect had only been seen before when photographing light sources in dark settings through a telescope, making it an unusual occurrence in this scenario. Beyond video evidence, around 90 high-resolution photos were taken, capturing the orb at different angles. However, none of those were published. Despite the clarity of the footage, no definitive explanation has been provided for what was recorded. Adding another layer to the mystery, questions remain about the person who allegedly summoned the object. Who were they, and how were they able to predict this sighting? Despite the video gaining significant online attention, no follow-ups have been provided by the original poster, leaving both the identity of the summoner and the nature of the object unknown.
This is the garden hose nozzle my team spent 3 years building, because every pressure washer on the market kept letting people down. Every pressure washer.
On the night of January 24th, 2025, Oklahoma educator and licensed drone pilot Chris Frederick stepped outside with his wife when he spotted something unusual hovering in the night sky. The object, which he described as looking like a jelly bean with plasma moving around it, quickly drew attention. Within minutes, 15 to 20 neighbors had gathered, capturing videos and photos of the strange sight. As an experienced drone operator, Frederick attempted to launch his drone for a closer look, but encountered unexpected interference. Despite recalibrating 3 times, he kept receiving an error stating that takeoff was impossible due to electromagnetic interference.
Bullshit.
When he finally managed a brief flight, an unexplained battery drain
I want
forced
to
him
know
to
what
land.
drone he's got to tell you.
The unidentified object remained visible for nearly 4 hours before vanishing without a trace.
Drone right there we're looking
Notably,
at,
it displayed no aviation lights or transponder
signals. It said drone operator, I didn't believe
Less than 24 hours later, another strange event unfolded over Oklahoma City's Plaza District, a busy nightlife area. Around 10:30 p.m., a drone flying at 1,000 feet captured footage of an object resembling a parachute or balloon-like structure with red smoke trailing beneath it. However, upon closer inspection, there appeared to be an unidentified object attached below the parachute. The person analyzing the footage, who was not present at the time, speculated it could be a flare or a balloon, but found the red smoke trails puzzling. They also pointed out that no scheduled events in the Plaza District explained its presence. Given the crowded urban setting, the possibility of a military or private contractor launch seemed unlikely. Adding to the mystery, a witness who saw the object at 10:30 p.m. stepped outside again at 1:30 a.m., and it was still there. If it were a flare, balloon, or drone, it should have either descended or drifted away. The footage was later reviewed by COCO Channel 5, the University of Oklahoma's Science Department, and the Oklahoma Science Museum. Despite thorough analysis, none of them could definitively identify the object, leaving these 2 consecutive sightings as one of Oklahoma's most intriguing areas.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
On the weekend of February 8th, 2025, the remote city of Ushuaia, Tierra del Fuego, became the setting for yet another UFO sighting.
What's this?
This time, a group of foreign tourists on a catamaran excursion through the Beagle Channel unintentionally captured what appears to be a mysterious aerial object. At first, no one noticed anything unusual. The tourists were focused on the region's stunning landscapes, en route to a penguin colony. It wasn't until they later reviewed their photos that one traveler spotted something strange, a round metallic object hovering above the water. The way it reflected sunlight ruled out a simple camera glitch or lens flare. The object appeared in multiple positions across the images, sometimes horizontal, other times slightly tilted. Its bronze color and bell-like shape fueled speculation. However, with no clear reference points, its exact size remains uncertain. The sighting left the tourists in shock and quickly became a hot topic online.
The light highlights always on the
Tierra
same
del
spot, no
Fuego
matter
has a
what
long
angle
history
it's
of unexplained aerial phenomena. Over the years, the region has drawn significant attention from UFO enthusiasts, with hundreds of eyewitness accounts. Many claim to have seen unusual craft moving through the sky, reinforcing Ushuaia's reputation as a hotspot for sightings. The latest incident has once again sparked debate. Some are natural explanations.
Well,
the object remains unknown.
I don't think it's alien for the simple
On
fact,
February 4th, 2020.
Just for a second, that it's tilted. When people describe saucers, they don't tilt when they take off. They just shoot off. Or they shoot up, or they just fucking disappear. Excuse my language.
It's only when they're hovering when they kind of go kind of wonky. But
and that's the other thing. If it's a real alien craft, it don't do that. That's the point.
I agree with you on this one, because if you look at that thing, it looks like it's just they took a cutout. The light source is always right here. Okay, whether it's tilted like that or like that, and at the 2 different angles, the sun wouldn't be on the exact same spot in 2 different pictures. What they did was they took that thing and they put it in the photo like this. Then they took another photo and they put it like that. It's like they just cookie pasted it into those photos. Yeah. It's fake.
What Jimmy? Any craft that has advanced technology that can hover in space isn't going to move inside of our atmosphere. In other words, it's not going to do this. It's just going to do this or this or this. It's not going to tilt, because first off, tilting a saucer, as anyone knows, throwing a frisbee on an angle can easily cause it to flip upside down or side or go off to the right or left. One of the reasons we didn't use saucer type craft is we didn't know how
couldn't
to
control it.
make them fly. Yeah, we tried to bank them and turn them, and it would just flip them over or flip them sideways. It just at high speeds, the saucer isn't the greatest thing if you have
But
to navigate.
from that, we got the hub. We got from the UFO hovercraft. We got the hover vehicles that we do have that are efficient and can go over just about any kind of terrain very quickly.
We learn from our mistakes, but we unfortunately haven't really figured out how to build a saucer and fly it at high speeds yet. Not at the kind of speeds. The triangles probably do Mach 30 or 40 inside the atmosphere. Yeah. But as far as a saucer, if we're flying a saucer, it's not. We just haven't got there yet.
Yeah,
I want to say we got there.
We probably have like the equivalent of like impulse power, so we can go like from Earth to the Oort cloud in like 27 minutes.
So
that's about it.
If the leaked information, and I'm confused about that, by the way, because that's supposed to be slower than light speed travel. Anyway, we'll get back to that. Well, no, Star Trek does you that. They say impulse drive. But when they say impulse, you're supposed to be going slower than the light. So that means if Jupiter is 2 years away by light, it's still 2 years away by your craft. So if you slow down by Jupiter going to Earth, it's going to take you 2 years to get there. So something is screwy with that. We need to work on that one night. We're going to do a show on what the impulse drive really is. But anyway, in these cases,
I have some Star Trek geek friends out there. I'll find out.
Oh, I'm sure. You know, I still probably got some of those original books I had from back in the day. But John, what's it? Wait, who? Oh yes, I didn't open it, but I did set up the Pal Talk room and upload it to this computer the other day. I surely did. I didn't have enough time tonight. I was going to start a chat group tonight, but we will for Friday night. We'll have one. I don't know if there'll be anybody in the damn thing, but we'll have one running, and it'll be in a political category Friday night. So on Pal Talk, yeah. I don't know if it'll just say United Public Radio or News on the flip side, but it'll be because once Pal Talk starts getting an audience, Pal Talk is a very interesting group of people. They, especially when it comes to their politics and alien shit, man, they tend to really know their stuff. There's a lot of good arguments there. Or I should say a lot of good debates. But in this case, I mean, so every saucer that I've ever seen that was considered legit usually was just here and then like a blink and it was gone, like a door opened or closed. The other few pictures I got, like there was just a picture of one cruising across Pensacola. So what's weird is people, when you see our stuff flies, but the UFO slides. It doesn't fly. I don't want to explain it. It slides. It's like a fist. It skims. It doesn't fly in a traditional sense of fun. There's no wings or uplift at all. Whatever the uplift is coming from is generated through some type of power source, but nothing we can see. But the blurry thing is interesting because I've only ever seen a couple of good shots of UFOs, and they were taken at a distance, usually more than a mile away. So, I mean, you're still limited in detail. Usually, if you're closer than that, the closer you get, the blurrier they get. And everybody always thought it was intentional, which it may be, but more than likely, it's just an effect of their engines, which they use to their advantage. Or maybe it's a heat source. You know, like when you see a car or a truck on the interstate, and you see that wavy heat wash up in front of you, it could be like that. More than likely, it's some type of shielding, though. I would bet you money.
Well, here is an entry from Memory Alpha. It's a fan run Star Trek encyclopedia, if you will. The technology of impulse drive or impulse engines. In Federation starships, the impulse drive was essentially an augmented fusion rocket, usually consisting of one or more fusion reactors, a driver coil assembly, and a vectored thrust nozzle to direct the plasma exhaust. The fusion reaction generated a highly energized plasma. This plasma, also called electroplasma, could be employed for propulsion or could be diverted through the EPS to the power transfer grid via EPS conduits. Those are like, I guess, gasoline lines, so as to supply other ship systems. The accelerated plasma was passed through the driver coils, thereby generating a subspace field that improved the propulsive effect. So I guess that 2 years might have been, 20 minutes.
Yeah, so then it's faster than light travel.
Or it's
not
near.
Supposed to be.
It's near light speed travel.
Well, no, even at near light speed, Jupiter would still take you 2 years. From Jupiter to Earth is 2 year trip. That's how long it takes for the sun to get there from here. So it's not,
No, it's like 23 minutes. Hey Google.
Oh wait,
how long
maybe
does
it
it
is.
take for the sunlight to hit Jupiter?
Oh, I think I'm getting it confused with something else.
It takes approximately 43 minutes for sunlight to travel from the sun to
43 minutes, yeah.
That's pretty good.
So if you're going near the speed of light, it'd probably take like an hour. Impulse drive takes like hours.
You couldn't
maybe
do
30
that.
minutes.
You couldn't do that because too much time would travel. See, that's the problem with anything sublight. You're kind of screwed.
Yeah. Well, it is technically they're sublight. So I mean, I don't know. But hey, Google, if you had the USS Enterprise, how long would it take you to go from Earth to Jupiter at impulse drive?
She's like, what? Are these guys on crack?
In Star Trek, the motion picture, it took the Enterprise about 1.8 hours to reach Jupiter from Earth using impulse power.
2 hours. So it's not light speed, but it's not 2 years. 1.8 hours. Let's call it 2 hours.
So then how do they cancel out the relativity effect? The relativity effect.
Apparently, it creates a sort of subspace field, kind of like the warp
field.
field.
Apparently, Gene was smoking some dope on that.
You would be surprised how much shit, pardon my French, that Gene had to retcon just to explain technology that he just came up with this as a plot device.
Yeah. Well, I know he got a lot of his ideas.
The transporter was literally a plot device developed because they didn't have enough money to build a small set for the space shuttle interior. That's why you don't see the space shuttle until the second season when they have more money.
No, Gene. Yeah, well, actually, the most famous one I think is Galileo.
Yeah,
he was in more than one Star Trek. Yeah.
The other famous one with the shuttle is the one where they find Zefram Cochrane and an energy being that heals this woman who is dying. That was like an ambassador for the Federation.
Yes, but no one's supposed to know that happened. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only Kirk and Spock and Bones is supposed to know that.
And the Entity and Zefram Cochrane know it.
Yeah, but they're on the planet. They're screwed. Who are they going to tell? The trees?
Well, they're going to live like for 1,000 years, though.
It's no, Gene. No. Actually, we're not through with this tape. We got a couple of these. We're just chatting. Hold on. Let me click this on.
At around 8 p.m., a mysterious bright yellow orb was captured in the skies above Saigon, Vietnam. In the 1-minute video, the orb moves to the right before briefly flashing. It then remains motionless for a few seconds before glowing brightly again and vanishing behind the trees. The witness reported that the object appeared suddenly and moved at an incredible speed before they started filming. It was extremely bright while in motion, but dimmed significantly when stationary. The witness also noted that no known aircraft moves that fast, and that the object seemed to be at a great distance, resembling a star. After being posted online in early February, the footage quickly gained traction, sparking debates among UFO enthusiasts and skeptics. While most agreed it wasn't a plane, satellite, helicopter, or balloon, some speculated it could have been a drone. Others, however, stood their ground, suggesting it might have been a craft from space instead. However, with no further reports, the true nature of the bright object remains uncertain.
That's why it's an unknown.
At around 1 a.m. on January 15th, 2025, a red orb was spotted flying erratically over the Caribbean Sea. The sighting occurred during a family cruise, where a longtime UFO enthusiast was finally able to share an unexplained experience with his skeptical mother, who had never believed in such phenomena until that night. While standing on the deck, the witness's mother was the first to notice the strange object darting across the sky. Initially, she assumed it was a drone, but given the speed of its movements and the fact that drones were not permitted on board, doubt quickly set in. Other passengers also witnessed the event, with some recording footage of the anomaly. The orb, originally glowing red, changed to white as filming began. It would briefly disappear before reappearing, covering what seemed like hundreds of feet in an instant. A nearby passenger suggested it was a bird, but its glowing appearance in rapid, unpredictable movements made this activity had been
I'm calling it a drone, people. So pretty much everything on this video, except for maybe one.
What if you could claim a stake on what's set to be the biggest
could also have been a
IPO ever,
helicopter
starting
too,
with just
as far as the way
$500?
that what thing was.
Everybody's talking about Elon.
We love Elon, dude, but we're not talking about him tonight. That's for a different night. Actually, James, I'm gonna go back and look. I don't even know where I was. I call it so. Japan came out with a new name. I mean, not Japan. China came out with a new name for its new 6th generation plane. Some stupid name, and I called it the Paper Tiger because it couldn't whip its way out of a wet paper bag with a top open and a pair of scissors in its hand. It's not a real jet yet. No, so they got in trouble at some air show. They were trying to show it, and somebody got some picture realizing that they had some kind of cutout on top of a different type of jet. Yeah, they had made a cover for a jet to make it look like that one. Because the X-47's been flying for almost 7 years now. Yeah. And it's been getting a lot of publicity over the last year. And China hadn't talked about anything. I mean, China hasn't even finished its 5th generation jets yet.
They're trying to catch up with stuff we still have that's top secret that hasn't come out yet that they're still copying.
Yeah, so
you know.
So they're trying to save face with this new jet, but when it's finished, it'll be a badass jet. 3 engines, Mach 5, Mach 6. It'll be bad. No, it doesn't matter because hypersonic missiles still shoot it down.
Yeah.
And I think last I checked, the SR-72 scheduled for Mach 9. They had something flying the other day. They caught it at Mach 7.5, but nobody will tell you what it was. 2 different radar towers picked it up along the Gulf Coast at Mach 7.5.
Well, if the 72 is any bit as good as the 71, it'll break records every time it flies. Like every time the SR-71 flew from New York to Los Angeles, it broke the previous time record.
All I know is when I was I went to visit a friend of mine in Texas where they guard the B-52s at, and they had a couple of SR-71s there. And I was talking with one of the pilots, and it was the first time I really understood that I had seen one parked, and it was all kind of shit underneath. The freaking thing leaked like a sieve, man. I was like, wait, I think it's a hunk of shit. He said, no, it's actually designed to do that. He said most of the time when we land them, we're draining everything out of them as we're cooling them down. He said as fast as we can. He said, or it ends up on the tarmac like that. He said it's just a way to plane. The faster the plane goes, the more it goes, the better it is. And I said, yeah, I noticed the other night I seen one come over while I was waiting on my friend to get off duty. And I said, I noticed the nose cone was growing red. I said, I'm in the Navy, and I said, I work with jets. And I said, and I know the Tomcat does 2.5 easy. And I said, it's officially rated at 2.34. I said, so it's going to do Mach 2.5, 2.6, 2.7. I said, it's not glowing at all. Mm-hmm. I said, I've seen the X-15 in flight at over Mach 5 and the nose cone would glow. Matter of fact, first time I ever seen a jet with a nose cone glowing was the X-15, and it was approaching almost Mach 7. Mm-hmm. He just smiled and started laughing. He said, well, at least you understand how it works. I said, so in other words, what you're telling me is it's classified, mind my own business. I said, even though I have a high clearance. He said, well, no. He said the official speed is Mach 3.3. He said, unofficially, it's whatever you want to think it is. He said, you as well as anybody else in this base knows it's much faster than that, but we're not allowed to talk. Yes. And which is, was fine, So, but having the conversation, no one glows.
It's basically a vertical rocket. It just goes. It's the super fastest plane ever.
So the one they were saying that was doing Mach 7 the other day was pulse driven. It was a pulse drive.
Yeah.
So they were showing it as it was leaving a pulse.
I've seen some of those pictures. The exhaust leads like it's kind of like a smoke ring.
Yeah, it's
weird.
Actually, Jamie, the lady described it as mini sonic booms, little mini ones. Yeah. Well, so the Aurora had Ram, Scoop, and another type. Had 2 types of drives on it, and they were testing them both at the same time.
Well, the D-24 and D-25 and D-27 drones. There was one was a Scram, and then the other two were Ram. And I think it was the D-27 was a scramjet. So they had to, in order to even turn that engine on, the SR-71 had to be going at least Mach 7. At least.
Well, Jimmy, that's why like B-52s and all drop planes off of, because they'll achieve like Mach 1, Mach 2, and then they'll drop the plane, and the plane will come in.
The engine.
So, and as the plane's dropping down, it's going faster and faster and faster. Generally, they're going to be a thruster and a scram. So the thruster will come on to make sure it gets to the speed it needs to be, and then the other engine fires. Well, the reason they're multi-testing engines, because the way these ships are going to work is you're going to have one type of engine that gets you to space, one type of engine that moves you around in space, one type of engine that moves you around on a foreign atmosphere. So remember, flying on Mars and flying on Earth are two different things. They had to specially devise that helicopter we're using with the blades are a particular design so that the damn thing don't fall out the sky. There's no lift like there is here. There's no pressure against the thing. So using jets is
no air pressure. There's hardly any air.
So
no atmosphere.
All we'll need there is something that can keep a decent amount of thrust underneath the thing just to keep you level, and you'll probably just be able to hover across the planet at really high speeds.
Hey, Sherry. Yeah, you would need either a UFO that doesn't require atmosphere or atmospheric pressure, or you would need to add pressure. You'd need to add an atmosphere for like most of our flying devices to fly.
One second, dude. I'm actually looking. Is this the one I want? Oh, let's see what kind of BS this is. Hold on. Add the stage. Well, actually, we got to go to break anyway. We missed our break, but
God, I can tell.
We might not. We might just play videos. What the heck? Holy shit! What is that bullshit? Bullshit.
Fun fact: a UFO, or an identified flying object, refers to any aerial phenomenon that cannot be immediately identified or explained.
The hell is that?
Often associated with extraterrestrial theories. Fun fact: a UFO, or an identified flying object, refers to any aerial phenomenon that cannot be immediately identified or explained. Often associated.
There's a video taken by a DHS helicopter of a very interesting object. At first, it appears to be perhaps a balloon, but then it does all sorts of weird stuff. It's called the Aguadilla incident. Keep watching that, and I'll tell you a little story about this. They're looking at this through a form of night vision, but if you keep watching this, something interesting happens. You're going to see this thing enter the water here. There he goes, underwater.
So it's going high speed through the water.
Yeah. Underwater. That's underwater. Then it breaks the surface of the water again, and then you'll see it split into two. There's a video taken by a DHS helicopter of a very interesting object. At first, it appears to be perhaps a balloon, but then it does all sorts of
part looked like a
Aguadilla incident. Keep watching that, and I'll tell you a little story about this. They're looking at this through a form of night vision, but if you keep watching this, something interesting happens. You're going to see this thing enter the water here. There he goes, underwater.
So it's going high speed through the water.
Underwater. That's underwater. Then it breaks the surface of the water again, and then you'll see it split into two. There's a video.
Big news.
There's a video taken by a...
Big news.
Next. Yo, Max, what's going on? What state are you from? Texas. AK-103. That fast? Big, loud, heavy, confident, and fully believes it solves every problem. Yeah, that checks out. Next.
Hey, man, I'm from Florida, and I just want to say, last week, I saw a guy wrestling something near a gas station.
State.
Florida.
Kedger.
Why the little one?
Cheap, twitchy, and way too comfortable doing something reckless at close range.
That is fair.
Next.
Hey, Max, before we start, I just want to say I'm very intentional about my build.
State.
California.
MCX.
Okay, why?
Expensive, curated, clean looking, and the owner absolutely talks about the build more than the recoil.
That feels weirdly personal.
Next.
Bro, hurry up. I got stuff to do.
State.
New York.
Why does no one dare treat Russia like a pushover, even when its economy is struggling? Because it holds three cards that would make the whole world stop and think twice if anyone pushed too hard. The first card is in the sky, the 2-160 strategic
most of that's been destroyed, so bye. That's scared there.
top speed.
That's the one they were putting tires on top of.
SST bomber. I mean, come on, they're idiots.
Missiles and nuclear payloads from long range without ever getting close.
Plus,
the second card is
didn't
under
Zelensky
the
blow up
water.
most of that?
The Borei-class strategic nuclear submarine. Each one carries 16 intercontinental ballistic missiles.
Every one of our submarines has every one of their submarines targeted at any one given time, in port and
the third card
out.
doesn't look dangerous at first glance, but it might be the most critical. The An-120 for transport aircraft. Don't be fooled by the cargo hauling label. This thing delivers war. With a payload of 150 tons, it can carry tanks, missiles, helicopters, load them up and fly them out within hours. It can drop an entire combat force on your doorstep.
Oh, now we got school buses.
Across the world. That's
what happens when you use shitty AI.
Is looking for Rouget and Chill.
Hey, how are you?
This little girl was.
This is
sorry, guys, we got to get out of this. There's nothing for this show.
Charlie, you lost your front nose gear tire.
This little girl does a great job landing this plane.
That's definitely how it appears out the window. Simon, 8 Delta Charlie, did you copy?
Copy, 8 Delta Charlie.
Entire front wheel assembly is on the runway.
Roger that. Should I remain in the pattern?
Simon, 8 Delta Charlie, you tell me what you need.
Pilot of Avatar. I need my front landing gear.
You
by yourself?
I know,
I
huh?
am solo.
This is our first time.
Could you if you need any help? I would love a bit of assistance, 8 Delta Charlie.
Yep. Okay, kiddo, just keep that stick all the way back, set it down nice and easy, nice and smooth.
This is my third solo ever. Thank you, guys.
Delta Charlie pilot, what's your name, kiddo?
My name's Taylor.
And Taylor, this is Chris. My daughter's name is Taylor, and I taught her to fly. We're going to be just fine, kiddo.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is no big deal. It's just going to make a little bit of noise. That wheel came off completely, so it's gonna grind. Expect that. But when you touch down, I just want that stick all the way back. You're going to hold that stick back like you don't want that nose to touch, just like exactly like you said it earlier, that soft field landing. And when the nose comes down, then we're going to go up to the brakes. And if it starts to go right, we're going to touch a little bit of left brake. We're just going to use anti-braking to keep it straight.
Copy that.
Okay, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Just want this to be over.
It's going to be over. It's going to be fine. Hold it off.
Now people will tell you what's going to happen. She blows everything.
Hold it, gentle. Now she's down. There you go, kiddo. Nice. There, stick back gently. Now go for the mixture. Got a kid. Nice job. Here she comes. The nose is going to come down. You're okay. Talk to me, kid.
Good. I'm all good.
That a girl.
So, guys, the backstory on this one is kind of crazy. You had a young girl who's only about 3 times, I think, solo flying, and she loses her front landing gear, right?
Yeah, dude, we know all about that part.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, how do you get on our show? Sean,
I need everyone to just take a moment and listen to this.
This
This should have been
running our
broadcast
military.
everywhere yesterday. I saw it on Twitter, but not enough people saw this. You all need to hear this. Check this out.
Many Americans are asking, why did the United States...
No, wrong show. Oh, boop. All right, we got to get out of here, man. Sorry, guys. We're supposed to be looking at UFO stuff. I'm not sure how we got sidetracked on that.
Yeah, it happens.
It's.
There's Jeremy Corbell.
Let's see who we got. Okay, all right, I think we'll skip that one.
Yeah.
Still ain't heard nothing from the president. Let's see what's on here. Let's look at these.
Have you heard about Pop-On Roofing? We need 50 homeowners in your area to trial this radically simple new roofing service.
I'm sure you
On January 12th, 2026, a mass UFO sighting took over multiple cities across Brazil, quickly becoming one of the most discussed UFO incidents in the country in recent years. Throughout the evening, residents from different states began sharing videos of what appeared to be the same unusual object moving through the night sky. Across the videos, the UFO appears as a luminous, cigar-shaped object gliding rapidly through the sky. In total, 4 videos were shared online, each recorded in a different city at around 8 p.m. The first sighting was reported in Miguel Pereira, in the state of Rio de Janeiro. Shortly after, a similar object was filmed in the state of Goiás, nearly 600 miles away. The third and fourth recordings came from Ribeirão Preto and Ibitinga, both located in the state of São Paulo. Beyond these 4 videos, there were additional reports from at least 2 other Brazilian states, although no footage from those locations has surfaced so far. According to eyewitnesses, the object was flying low and fast, did not follow a steady route, and instead vanished abruptly without fading or slowing down. The sheer distance between each sighting raised immediate questions, with some speculating that the same object could not have traveled such vast distances in such a short time, which led some to believe these were separate sightings of similar UFOs. A common explanation put forward was that the phenomenon could have been related to a Starlink satellite launch. However, many witnesses strongly rejected this theory. They noted that the object moved much faster than typical satellites, appeared significantly brighter, and was flying far lower than any satellite would.
They don't launch Starlink
What
from
made this
Brazil.
case even more compelling was its connection to a previous incident that took place on August 9, 2025, when a similar cigar-shaped object was recorded in Rio Grande do Norte, Brazil. In that case, the object was filmed in broad daylight, offering a much clearer view of the UFO. Despite the many witnesses, recordings from different locations, and both daylight and nighttime footage, just like many similar cases involving cigar-shaped UFOs, this sighting remains unexplained. This next sighting takes us to January 14, 2026, in Pflugerville, Texas, where a mysterious object was captured completely by chance during a live stream. The streamer, known as Chicken Andy, was broadcasting when he and his viewers noticed a strange triangular formation of lights in the sky. Right away, Andy said the objects didn't look like planes, mainly because of how still the orbs appeared. At first, the formation looked like another classic TR-3B sighting, with 3 lights forming a triangle. But after watching for a bit longer, things started to get weird. The bottom left light slowly began drifting to the side and eventually faded out of view. This made it clear that it wasn't a single solid craft, but 3 separate objects. A few minutes later, the top light did the exact same thing, sliding to the left and fading away as well. What makes this case interesting is that Chicken Andy isn't a UFO researcher or enthusiast. His streams are usually about traveling, exploring, and meeting up with other streamers in real life. So this wasn't something he was actively looking for. Some people suggested the lights could have been military flares, but that explanation doesn't fully add up. Flares don't usually stay perfectly still for several minutes and then move off one by one.
Well, they do
Others
if they're
suggested they
falling
might have
straight
been
down.
planes, but none of the
But there's
lights
no
showed
smoke.
blinking navigation patterns, remaining steady the entire time they were visible. In the end, while drones and planes were mentioned as possible explanations, nothing truly fits the characteristics of the orbs seen in the video. Because of that, the origin of these strange objects over Pflugerville remains unexplained. This sighting happened in April 2025 over Moscow, Russia, but it only really blew up online in early 2026. The video shows a strange saucer-shaped object moving across the night sky. What stands out right away is its lighting, with several lights that appear to be rotating around the craft and a much brighter green light glowing in the center underneath. There also seems to be a faint trail behind it as it moves, which only adds to how unusual it looks. Throughout the video, Russian air defenses can be seen repeatedly attempting to intercept or take down the UFO. However, according to official reports, despite numerous attempts, they were unable to bring the object down. Authorities claim the object was simply a Russian helicopter mistaken for a foreign craft. However, many people strongly disagree with this explanation. The light pattern doesn't match a helicopter at all, especially the idea of lights arranged around what would be the rotor area and a large green light on the underside. On top of that, reports say the UFO didn't show up on Russian radar, which makes the helicopter theory even harder to believe. The faint trail behind the craft is another detail that doesn't really fit with normal helicopters. Because of all these inconsistencies, the official explanation has been widely rejected online. Many now believe the footage could show a real UFO, or at least something far more advanced or unusual than a standard aircraft. Still, with limited information and no clear follow-up, the true nature of this object remains unknown, and it's very likely we'll never get a clear answer about what was really flying over Moscow that night.
Well, good.
Hi, I'm JT, and I made Result Hunter, the search engine for conservatives. Let me just tell you what it does. First of all, big tech right now is run by a bunch of elitist people who all happen to vote the same way and who all happen to live in huge cities.
Now let's take a look at two very similar sightings that happened just one day apart. Because of how alike they are, there's a chance they could be connected. The first sighting happened on December 25th, 2025, over Sacramento, California. The video shows a bright light racing through the clouds at an insane speed. The object doesn't move like a plane or a helicopter at all. Instead, it darts across the sky and then suddenly vanishes behind the mountains, almost like it shut off or slipped out of view. The second sighting was recorded the very next day, on December 26th, this time in Clayton, North Carolina. Once again, the same phenomenon can be seen, but this time performing different kinds of maneuvers. Both videos quickly went viral, pulling in over 6,000 likes and more than 1,000 comments. Among those comments, many people tried to make sense of the sighting, with the most common explanation being that the lights were simply powerful spotlights shining into the clouds. However, not everyone agreed with that explanation, pointing out that no light beams could be seen coming from the ground, which would normally be expected with spotlights. For such reasons, some believed the lights could be reflections caused by UFOs hidden within the clouds, or even cloaked objects moving above them.
Or shocker,
in the end,
it could be
most
fake.
skeptics brushed both videos off as simple light
Wish they would
projections,
give us a date.
while others remain convinced there's something more going on. With
Yeah, I
no
don't
clear
think he said
proof either
something like
way,
that.
both sightings are still unexplained. But before we move to the next sighting, if you've been enjoying the video, please consider subscribing. It's free, and it really supports the channel.
Why don't you throw up some
This
real
next
ones, then,
sighting
buddy?
took place on January 22nd, 2026, when a faint black shape was seen hovering in broad daylight. According to the witness, the object was very far away and barely visible at first, and they watched it
The Mylar
for
balloon
about a
caught in
minute
high
before
wind.
recording transparent. Even with heavy fog in the area, some details can still be made out, which only adds to how strange it looks. Additionally, the UFO doesn't appear to move erratically or behave like something being carried by the wind. The main explanation proposed was that the unidentified object could have been a murmuration of birds. However, speculate that the object could have been a cloaked UFO. But with no additional footage
Murmuration of birds,
and
I
these
guess
two
that's
theories still
possible.
colliding, the incident remains unexplained.
It does kind of
But
look
if you
like
want to
birds
see
moving
5
around,
more
actually.
shocking UFO sightings, click the video appearing on your screen right now.
What's this?
Just 4 miles from one of the most secretive military bases in America, something strange was spotted in the sky. On April 8th, 2026, witnesses at Rainbow Lakes in Fairborn, Ohio, spotted a formation of glowing lights hovering in the sky. It's uncertain how long the entire sighting lasted, but one of the witnesses managed to capture about 30 seconds on video. The UFOs made no sound, showed no standard navigation lights, and moved nothing like any known aircraft, drone, or satellite. The lights flickered, pulsed, and changed brightness individually as they slowly drifted downward. The most common explanation online is that the lights were parachutists carrying flares, but that theory falls apart when some of the orbs seem to start moving upward.
Why?
The video was filmed near Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, a site that has been tied to UFO rumors for decades. For that reason, the sighting spread quickly across social media and even reached mainstream news outlets. Despite this, the base has not issued an official statement confirming whether the lights were parachutists. With all that said, the problem is that we might never get official answers about this incident, leaving us with nothing more than a short video that raises more questions than it answers. This next video just surfaced online, and even the most skeptical people on the internet have no explanation for it.
What?
Filmed near Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, Nevada, the 2-minute footage shows a saucer-shaped UFO hovering in the sky with bluish and white lights. Throughout the video, the object slowly rotates and gradually tilts side to side. The witness who recorded it is unknown. The video simply appeared on social media with nothing but a date and a location. When you zoom in, it becomes clear the object is pretty far from the camera.
Johnny,
And
you know
based
why
on that distance,
UFOs,
people
they
are
move them
estimating
side
the
to side
craft
like
could be
that?
around 50 feet wide.
so that they look
One
like they're
interesting detail in this sighting is how closely the object resembles the one photographed in the Gulf Breeze UFO case,
Called it.
often considered one of the most significant UFO
on.
images ever captured.
Yeah.
This similarity has led some to speculate that the two sightings could be linked, possibly even depicting the same craft. But here's
Or
where it gets
perhaps somebody
interesting.
bought that
The
UFO
online
model that they
UFO
gave to
community
Ed
ran the
Walker from
footage
TV
through
show it
AI
was on.
detection tools, and it came back looking authentic. People also used AI to upscale individual frames, and what those images revealed is hard to ignore. A large metallic object with multiple lights around its edges and blue lights glowing beneath it. Then things get weirder. Usually when a UFO video blows up online, the comment sections are flooded with people calling it a drone, a kite, or a plane. That did not happen here. Despite the video reaching massive attention within days, almost nobody was trying to write it off as something ordinary. That silence from the skeptics says a lot.
Damn it.
Spring outdoor power deals happening now. 7 days to save. Pick your power. Pick your brand to refresh your yard this
Sorry,
spring.
people.
Save during outdoor power deals now
I'm in
through
the
April
wrong
29th.
place.
at the Home
Try to
Depot.
get skipped from the wrong window. That was just dumbass stuff.
Now,
there.
could this still be a hoax? Yes. A custom-built model or something similar can't be fully ruled out, but nothing has been confirmed either way. But one thing is certain. Whatever is in that footage, it came from somewhere. And right now, nobody knows where.
And
Now
we
let's
also
move
do
to
know
a
that
short
there
video
was a
from
model of the
Amargosa
Ed
Valley,
Walker's
Nevada,
type UFOs
which may be
for
one
a
of the
TV
most
show, and they
intriguing
gifted it to him at
UFO
the end
clips
of
to
the production.
surface online this year.
Oh, wait, where was
The
that
video,
from anyway?
the object in Las Vegas, Nevada,
Vegas,
the two is how closely the object starts simple enough. Nevada, which may be one of the most intriguing UFO clips to surface online this year. The footage starts simple enough. A blue object sitting still, positioned in a valley. Then it lifts off,
looks like some
hovering
cruise
slowly
lights,
to the
man.
right. And at that point,
Cruising
it
along the
almost looks like
highway.
a drone or a helicopter. But then things get weirder. Moments before the video cuts, the UFO shoots off at a speed no man-made aircraft can reach.
That's
The
fake.
object doesn't accelerate, it just instantly darts away. Since man-made objects can't go that fast, some believe the footage must have been tampered with. But so far, no one has been able to point to any clear signs of manipulation. The only red flag in this whole story is that no locals came forward saying they saw anything that night, which is odd given how brightly the object flashed. Despite the fact that no locals reported the sighting, in the comment section of the video, one person shared that when he was 13, he and his brother watched a blue craft just like this one being chased by 3 jets until it made an instant 90-degree turn and vanished from the buzz. It clearly didn't want to be followed. Someone in Austria filmed something weird in the sky, and nobody knows where the footage even came from. The video shows a bright yellow UFO hovering and shifting from side to side, and what makes it stand out
That
is
looks
how
like
vivid
something
it
other
looks
than-
in broad daylight. The shape keeps changing too, going back and forth between a round orb and something closer to a classic saucer. Then, just before the clip ends, the object slowly shrinks and disappears completely. But
What?
here's where it gets tricky, because there's no witness.
Wait, what you said?
I believe there's something similar to this one. You said there's another one similar to this on another city. I think there was one of these similar to in Ukraine as well.
Might have been.
Report. No
See, this is
location
weird.
details,
Could be some kind
and
of
no
UFO
way to tell how
also
far
be
the object
something
was from the camera. Estimating its actual size is basically impossible. Some people think it could be a plane on approach to land, which
'Cause
might
I've
explain the
seen
movement.
this-
But that intense brightness
this
in the middle of the
plasma
day
you
doesn't
can
really fit that
undulate.
explanation.
Yeah, and look,
Despite the
changing
limited
shape.
information surrounding this sighting, one thing stands out. Bright orbs like this are among the most frequently reported types of
We are the
objects in
Metron.
UFO cases.
Remember
While
that
many
episode?
sightings can
The
likely
Born, I
be
think?
explained by ordinary
Then again,
objects,
it's tilted
it's
to its
possible
side.
that something genuinely unknown occasionally goes unnoticed, leaving us unable to tell which is which. Could this sighting from Austria be one of those? We might never know.
Plasma phenomenon. We don't know.
That brings us to today's bonus clip, which might be one of the best UFO recordings ever captured. And oddly enough, almost nobody knows it exists. Filmed over a residential area in Drôme, France, the footage shows a clear, saucer-shaped UFO hovering completely still in the sky.
That's a little gray.
But here's the strange part. When the camera zooms in, instead of losing detail, the object's shape becomes even more defined, making it harder to explain away. No witness ever came forward, no story was ever told. The video simply appeared online in 2009, believed to have been recorded nearly a year before. I'll leave this one in your hands. What do you think this object might be? Drop your thoughts in the comments. But before we move to the next sighting, if you've been enjoying the video, please consider subscribing. It's free, and it really supports the channel. Now, 4 F-16 fighter jets were scrambled after something unusual was spotted in the skies over New Jersey. On December 18, 2024, around 2 in the afternoon, two friends were hanging out in a front yard in Atlantic City when they noticed something in the sky that didn't seem right. A glowing orb, extremely bright, moving slowly in their direction. After about 10 minutes, it reversed course and stayed visible for nearly an hour and a half. One of the witnesses is a former Air Force mechanic with years of experience working on aircraft, and he also knows a lot about drones. His conclusion was clear. Whatever that thing was, it was neither a plane nor a drone. Video footage from the sighting shows what appears to be a large golden orb hovering in the sky in broad daylight. It looks nothing like any known aircraft. Now, there's some controversy surrounding those F-16 jets. While some witnesses claim they were scrambled to intercept the unidentified object, others say those jets are common in the area and were likely just carrying out routine training. Still, that hasn't stopped some people from believing that explanation was put out to downplay the incident. As for what it could actually be, a satellite reflecting sunlight is one of the few explanations that might make sense.
Not that low.
But the problem is that satellites are typically visible for only a few minutes, so that might not be the case here. Whatever it was, it had no intention of remaining hidden, yet no one has been able to explain exactly what it was. But if you want to keep watching more sightings like these,
dude, we're gonna
watch what magnesium does to your bowels.
If you have to wipe more than 4 times after you poop, here.
I don't want to know that. There's some things I just don't need to know, people. And that was one of them. Jack, no, actually, we got a different
On
link.
January 12th, 2020.
So we got some more in here, but this isn't what we're looking for. This, I went looking for this. Let me see if I found it. Yeah, this is it. So let's pull this up, remove that. Well, Jay and I have talked about this. I'm hoping this is the right one. So what made me think about these was these 4 F-16s. So back in the day, in one of the Belgium sightings, NATO had to scramble some jets. Let's see. Stop screen. Yeah, damn. Add screen. Add screen. Let's see if this is it. Okay. Up, it's on the screen for us. All right, good deal. So we're gonna find it in a minute, guys. So let's see what these people think it is. This is the History Channel. Give the History Channel props because we don't want to get in trouble.
Probably going to be hearing Robert Clotworthy.
Are deployed by the Belgian Air Force after radar spots an ominous object.
This is
hovering in the
1990.
air. They see
This is actually before what we were
You're
talking
looking
about.
at an actual recording of what was on their flight radar lock-on. In the center of the screen, at an altitude of 7,000 feet, is a diamond-shaped blip. This blip indicates there's something solid in the sky, though it doesn't necessarily represent what this solid object actually looks like. The radar's altimeter, measuring in thousands, indicates the odd object races thousands of feet higher, then plummets back down again at breakneck speed. And it seems to accelerate to 990 knots, or more than 1,000 miles per hour, before bolting out of range. The pilots never make visual contact, but back on the ground, one resident of Brussels claims to capture this footage of 3 lights in a triangular pattern passing overhead.
This video was shot in March of 1990 over Belgium on the same night of the radar sighting.
A few months later, Belgian Air Force Colonel Wilfred de Brouwer holds a press conference about the incident.
What these pilots detected was well outside the normal flying envelope of an airplane. Sometimes it had speeds between 150 knots till 990 knots, an acceleration which occurred in a few seconds. These speeds would be impossible to tolerate for a human being.
And there's another layer to this story. This wasn't the first Belgian sighting. There'd been a string of strange encounters just months before.
It starts in November of 1989. multiple reports start coming in of seeing 3 lights in the sky.
During that first wave of sightings, no less than 30 different groups of witnesses described seeing 3 bright lights up in the sky.
What they see is that these aren't 3 distinct lights, but rather 3 points of light on one very large triangular-shaped object.
The witnesses claim to have seen the object slowly glide at low altitude northeast across the Belgian landscape from the town of Liège to the border with the Netherlands and Germany. More than half a dozen police officers working that evening also spotted the mystery aircraft. But it wasn't until months later, when the Air Force picked up that strange UFO on radar and this footage was captured, that they seemingly had proof that this was a technologically amazing craft.
There was nothing that existed that could outperform this F-16 aircraft. But the pilot says that as he's pursuing this object, the object makes essentially a quick turn and deviates off his radar system, and he loses it.
In total, this Belgian triangle was seen by more than 1,000 witnesses over these several months. With so many viewers and the military involved, could this be the real deal? Our experts try to identify both the object on radar and the one that was filmed. Are they one and the same? If so, what could it be? First, astronomer Mark D'Antonio examines the 1990 video.
The important thing here is to notice that there are 3 objects in the view, and the objects don't get any closer to each other or move apart from each other. They stay near each other, almost as if they're connected in some way through a structure. So we're probably looking at a cohesive, singular object that has lights on it.
So could this be a real
I would think
triangular
those are
UFO?
engines, not lights.
D'Antonio said
Yeah, those
he's
are the
not so sure.
I can
gravity
never pronounce that
devices.
this is real. There's no data indicating that it is. I can only say that it's compelling. From my point of view, the jury is still out. So does that make it a hoax? No. Does it make it real? No.
Makes it real
But
something, dude.
it doesn't take away from the fact that this footage exists of an F-16 Fighting Falcon tracking an object on its radar.
Sources say the ground footage was filmed at around 2:20 a.m., about 2 hours after the F-16 spotted something on their radar. So could these 2 incidents be connected? And what would that mean? Aviation expert Tim McMillan takes a closer look at that radar data.
What this radar screen is telling us is that essentially this object descended from 10,000 feet to roughly 500 feet or below in just a matter of seconds. To do that, we're talking about something that would have to be moving exceptionally fast, upwards of Mach 40. Those types of G-forces would crush a person.
So McMillan agrees with the Belgian Air Force. A human couldn't withstand these forces, but maybe an alien could. Well, hang on. McMillan has a different theory as to what the F-16's radar screens may have detected.
I think possibly what we're looking at here is something called Bragg scattering. It's a scattering effect with the radar. Pockets of high humidity, ice crystals, cloud cover, different things like that can actually cause the radar to produce false echo returns. The pilots themselves never visually saw anything, only the radar. In this particular case, I would say that the idea that radar scattering caused these false returns could be a very plausible explanation for it.
But remember, this object was detected on multiple radar systems, so it's unlikely it would be Bragg's scattering in every
balls
case.
of ice don't
That's why many
automatically
who study
accelerate
this
or decelerate or
remain
change altitude
perplexed.
going up then down.
Okay, it's true. The incredibly fast speeds caught on the F-16's radar could be a glitch. But our verdict is genuine UFO. We have no way of confirming if the object seen on radar is the same one filmed in Brussels, but it does seem remarkable that these 2 pieces of footage came within hours of each other. And decades later, the former Air Force colonel and now retired Major General de Brouwer still can't account for the thousands of UFO sightings reported in Belgium over those months.
Wonder why they decided to test the TR-3B over Belgium.
Because I think it's a spy platform. I don't think it's a, you know, Is it a military platform? Yeah, maybe so. But is it an
well,
offensive?
you're probably
No,
right.
I think it's an intelligence device.
Of course, that's what they said we used to go to Mars on. So the TR-3Bs.
Yeah.
And that was back
It's
in
very
the
possible.
early
If
80s.
it's I mean, the drives that it has, if they're
Well, if the Russian KGB is telling the truth, in '79, they had found out that we had gotten hold of some alien technology and we were using it to move around in the solar system, and that we had plans on taking it to Mars. Well, the KGB said we did. They said along with us and some, it was the Americans and some Russians and a few other people went and established the first colony and have had a colony there ever since. So I guess it's going to be a bitch when Elon gets there and finds a colony.
Yeah, he won't be the first. And the other thing is that it's quite possible if the TR-3B could do that. If its engines are reverse engineered gravity engines like those described by Bob Lazar, then it could probably easily do that trip in about the same time as the Enterprise. 2 minutes. I mean, not 2 minutes. 2 hours. Hour and a half. Boom, you're there.
Yeah. Well, Jack, it's however long it takes to get there, however long it takes from light to get from here to Mars.
43 minutes for the sun. So from here, hey,
Yeah,
Google.
That was from Jupiter to the
How
sun.
fast would light take to get from Earth to Jupiter?
I should have asked Mars.
Light takes between 33 and 54 minutes to travel from Earth to Jupiter, depending on their positions in orbit.
53 and 43 minutes. So yeah, about an hour.
Yeah, but ask how long it takes to get from here to Mars. That's what we're interested in. Screw Jupiter.
Oh yeah. Hey Google, how long does it take for light to reach Mars from the sun?
Oh, from Earth.
Yeah, we'll do that in a second. Let's find out.
10 minutes. Okay, Google's on crack.
It takes about 13 minutes for sunlight to travel from the sun to Mars.
Right.
Hey Google, how long would it take light to travel from Earth to Mars?
It takes between 3 and 22 minutes for light to travel from Earth to Mars,
3
depending on their current positions in orbit.
Yeah. Further away it is, I guess the further it takes. Yeah, longer it takes.
I know they said when we're at optimal launch, even at conventional speeds, they can get there in 3.5 months.
Yeah.
If we launch it
at the worst, it's like something like 9.
Yeah, I think they said it's 14 actually.
Or there were that. Yeah, I mean it's a lot more. It's not. And the same with Jupiter, 2 years or maybe like 4.
Yeah, it just all depends on where we're at, where it's at when we launch. And plus, there's other corridors that help speed things up
or slows them down. Remember when in the book 2063, that's the third Space Odyssey book. When Odyssey does finally return back to Earth, Dr. Floyd is now, I think, 83 years old and cannot leave orbit because he's been in space so long that he can't survive on Earth's atmosphere anymore in the gravity.
It's excuse me, guys. See, now this one, well, this is my photo. What the hell?
The Belgian UFO wave Belgium. Last but certainly not least, we head to Belgium, where a wave of UFO witnesses, including bright lights, the Belgian no avail, to intercept these mysterious objects.
That's one of my pictures.
That picture's been all over every UFO show, Ancient Aliens is using
I know. Actually, we actually had a lawsuit over this picture. It was this was actually taken right outside of Pensacola, Florida. It's not even the only one we took of it. They're still on. It's one of the reasons, people ask me all the time, how come I put that Alien Enigma site up? That's why, because of stuff like this. Alien Enigma site's been up since '99. And it tells you where it comes from. Oh man. And it's not the only one. We got some stuff, some videos that I've used. I've seen other groups pick up and use. And matter of fact, there's one under JoJoMon 63. It's a picture, it's a video of something in the city. And for some reason or another, it just got picked up and used all over the place. Most of the stuff, the tracks, the whatchamacallit system picks it up and tells us. Or copyright picks it up and tells us, but that's just some jack shit. That's what that is, people.
but to no avail. The Belgian UFO wave remains one of the most extensive and well-documented cases in UFO history. The Belgian UFO wave, Belgium.
So they're already 40 years ahead of what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Very end.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're weird. Okay, UFO in Belgium, 6/16/19. Man, I don't see nothing out there, dude. You smoking that ganja.
It's the late November of 1989.
Okay, guys, I told my...
Mayday, mayday, mayday. American Airlines, AA-73 declaring a critical medical emergency. We are transporting a donor heart for a pediatric transplant. Viability window is closing. Requesting immediate priority vectors and clearance to land now.
AA-73 negative. Be advised, Air Force One is on presidential final. Runway is fully locked for VIP arrival. Earliest available landing window is 20 minutes. Maintain the published hold.
20 minutes is not survivable for this organ. This heart has a strict ischemic limit. If we wait, the transplant fails. There is a child in an operating room waiting on this aircraft. Request immediate clearance again.
AA-73 denial confirmed. VIP protocol supersedes all arrivals. Any unauthorized descent from holding will result in certificate revocation and permanent removal from service.
With respect, my license is irrelevant compared to a child's life. If this heart doesn't reach the hospital in time, there is no second chance. We're not burning daylight while a child's future expires.
American 73, this is your final advisory. Federal enforcement teams are staged on the ramp. If you continue inbound, you will be detained immediately and your aircraft will be seized for investigation.
Copy your advisory, but I won't hold while a child's hope sits in this cabin. American 73 is committing to final approach right now. Ground me, arrest me, take the wings off my uniform. But
This
when
is
that
such
child wakes up
bullshit.
with a beating heart, I'll know I made the right call. Mayday, mayday, mayday. American Airlines, AA-73 declaring a critical...
Yeah, I love
Watch
bullshit
it.
people.
There's a
No,
picture.
it's not real.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds
they
here.
coordinate that stuff ahead of time. Whoa.
That's not real either.
Whoa.
That was. Wow.
That was too.
That's why you don't have a sailboat.
Damn.
Wow.
Lightning can be
I've
a
seen
bitch,
lightning hit a
man.
tree. It's amazing. Oh, he almost got killed. Idiot. What the hell?
Two cats running at it.
Live in the backyard.
Big sissy. Whoa.
Oh. Damn.
Oh my god.
Waitress comes to a customer and says, "Sir, here's your
Viagra and Cialis.
Really
gotta take both those spots? Yeah.
Yeah, man. We gotta take both those spots, man. That's how it is, man. You don't like it, don't park here, man. How's that? That's what I got to tell you, man. You don't like it, don't park here. Now, Belgium sightings was interesting, guys.
Huh?
I was just saying Belgium sightings is interesting. Let me see. We might have time for a couple more. What's this real? We've seen that. That's Rogan. I seen Rogan earlier talking about something. Nah,
He
we
usually
seen
has
that.
some interesting topics and guests on. I
He
gotta
does.
admit.
He's fun sometimes. A little insane, but fun sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, here we go. 2026 stuff. Is it on the screen?
No, you got to present it first.
Hold on. Let me out of here, so I can get back to the room. Where am I? Oh, it ain't even on there. Yeah, it's not even up there. All right. Yeah, no, we're gonna use Pal Talk this.
There it is. Ooh.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. Where is the play button?
Billy Myers?
We have photos of this UFO. We also have a video of this UFO in flight.
Me esperaste.
Well, it's not very big.
Yeah. 1 or 2 man vehicle.
I mean, look at it next to that tower. Yap. I don't like the yap.
Welcome back to the channel. We have one of the clearest UFO photos and videos, and this may be the clearest one we'll see for 2026 so far. If this other year is starting out,
Maybe so.
I think we're
Billy
going
Myers
to
has some
be
pretty incredible
doing
stuff,
great.
the real
So
stuff
there's going to be
anyway.
a couple of photos as you see here. I got a couple more to show to you of this craft flying, and then I also have a short video clip. It's only a few seconds long, but there is a story behind that as well. So this video clip and these photos were taken over in Colombia, and it was in December 2023. So as the time of this video was only less than a month away. And how the story lays out is a lady who doesn't want to be identified. Her name is Natalia, and her sister were out, and they happened to see this craft. She took her phone out, and she was able to record some video, and she was also able to record these photos.
Yeah, we don't need the fake shutter click there, buddy.
Now, these are some amazing photos that she took, and we're going to look at these photos in this craft a little bit closer. The UFO or UAP, I have to kind of say that too, as well.
I'm
But
having
we're
issues
going to look
with
at these a
this
little
thing
bit
for some
closer. But
reason.
here's going to be the video clip.
I mean, so looking at the,
It's going to be very,
behind it,
very
the,
short. And there's a little bit of audio I'm going to let play in just a second. You'll hear them kind of
that
talking
ceramic
in Spanish or
resistor
something. But here's
plate
the
behind
audio
it
to this.
ring. It's only like 3 foot long.
Me espérate.
Now, there's going to be several things I'm going to point out in this video clip. Like I said,
Like
it's
perhaps
very
that it's
short. She
fake?
stated as she was taking this video, her phone started acting up, so she went ahead and switched over to the camera and got us the photos that we see. There's like 6 photos. But notice when this craft flies, there's a bird or something that flies right in front of us. So that makes this a lot more legit than any other video footage out there. So you guys let me know in the comments what you think about that. But look at that.
Looks superimposed to me. That's just my professional opinion.
Something about just and look at the bird compared to the size. This thing is tiny.
Yeah.
Right there. You see that bird that flew in front of it?
I did, dude. Let's take it. Where's the power?
More legit than anything else. Now, these are going to be some of the photos that she took. There's 2 or 3. At that point, it was on one side,
right
so
here.
or not. But
When
clearly
you look
here,
at it, this
was on
thing
the
right
other
here is
side.
only 3 foot
And
long.
look at that detail.
This whole section right here is maybe 7 feet.
Yeah, like I said, probably
It's kinda
one or
hard for
maybe
me to
2 man
determine
craft
the
at
size of
most.
this. I'm thinking about
Yeah, it's 7
the size of
feet.
the car,
You
maybe
and
a
I
little
couldn't
bit
fit in
larger.
there.
No, for an alien, a 3'5" gray, he could easily fit.
But we
in
got some amazing photos here, and this should be everywhere. So you guys share this video everywhere you can, because I think they do resemble it. Some of the best photos. Was someone caught that in on this? Let me know. If I get any more information, I will.
Well, we appreciate your stuff, dude. We're not hating on you or anything. So let's see about this one. Let's see
That
about
one's a little
this.
sketchy.
Let's where's the room at? There it is. Remove, exit, and so this, ladies and gentlemen, is somebody you've heard us talk about on many occasions. Let me make sure it goes on the screen.
Oh,
Put it up, go ahead.
It's up. Because the thing is that it usually sends you to that page, so it's quicker if someone else rolls it onto the screen for you.
It
But
is,
you
yeah.
came back quicker than usual.
I think I was still there, so this is Billy Myers stuff.
Okay. He was able to do this for years. He's got so much footage and stills.
Whoops, where we go?
If you live in...
Take us back to the thing. Is this it? Let's see.
He's a strange dude. Yeah, so these are the legit ones. If they show the true history, you'll see the transition. Like I think in the 80s, they start to get really, really more elaborately decorated, if you will.
Speaks or no English at all.
This stray cat turned aggressive every single time the same delivery man arrived. But what they found out later...
Right, the delivery man. That's what the hell?
Fake, whatever it is.
Legally, the name of this department is the Department of Defense, correct?
It's the Department of War.
And why do you say that?
Because that's what the president and his team has renamed it.
And there's a statute that calls it the Department of Defense. The president did an executive order.
I'm going to ask you to remove your hat.
This is what to do if your dog hates nail trims. So you want to trim your dog's nails without the whole production.
I don't want to trim my dog's nails. It just looks like a whole production. That's what that looks like. But we got to go here. Let's see if we can squeeze in one more Billy Myers.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Is this the one? That's way too long. It's an hour. What's this? 2 minutes. 4 minutes. 32 seconds. Ooh, somebody looks lovely there. Jess, if you want to hear about Billy Myers talking, you have to listen to Michael Horn. Yes. Who is just a pompous ass.
Yeah.
Him and I have had many disagreements. Because he got mad at me because I told him, I said, it's not that I think Billy's a fraud. I know some of the pictures he took legit. I just know some of the pictures he took were fake. I said, I understand why he did it too. I said, you're only as good as your last production. I said, but when you fake something and get busted, don't get upset about it. I mean,
He
it's
missed
just,
the money. I mean, it was clear. And the the fake photos are really good, but I mean, he just went, massively crazy with it.
I think
all these tchotchkes all over the thing. It was
here we can
ridiculous.
see in this film the model, one of the models being handheld and walked about the property. There were very specific technical differences that were observed, but in this film, we see an object that some people might say is a model. It's hovering above what appears to be a tree and in front of a house.
Is this one of his films?
This is one of Billy Myers' films, his earliest film from 1975. Some people would think by a string, but as you see this move off to the side, you notice the UFO hung for a moment at an angle, which is something that's impossible to affect with an object on a string.
But it looks like so shaky and like being pulled up and down.
Yes.
And is this the usual way they fly?
No, this was a demonstration flight, and some of what was accomplished here was the characteristic and to be expected movement from an object, a pendulum-like object, an object on a string. And then we see these other smooth and flowing movements as the UFO is moving about the tree. We're told that this was done for a couple of reasons. One, to actually demonstrate flight back to the very opening.
Don't take this the wrong way, people. But when I was a kid, we used to have these little planes. They were gas engine planes, but you had two pieces of string that ran all the way to the wing, and you had a handle, and they look just like that when you're flying. By the way, they had that same pitch, the same roll, the same.
We had those
everything.
too,
Yeah, I mean. Maybe some of you millennials and Z-Geners haven't seen them, but go take a look at them. You'll see what we're talking about. So that right there has to be ruled as a hoax. That's the problem with Billy. I mean, he had good stuff, he had hoax stuff, but I got to give him an A for effort no matter what.
Right.
Now, whoever's doing this is
and that the object not only disappears in one frame, but pops back in one frame just as suddenly as you see here.
So where does it go while it's gone?
Well, that's a good question. As we
That
observe
could
it
be
here
easily
disappear one
accomplished
more
by
time,
a jump
we
cut
can
as
wonder
well.
just exactly where it goes. I don't have an answer for it. That's Billy Meyer in the lower middle of the film. He's walked into the film. He'd set up his camera on the tripod.
y'all can tell us what you
as we
think
again see
if
one of
these
the
are real or
UFOs
fake.
hovering in the distance.
Oh, we looked at
Terrestrials, they
this
were
one, so
surprised at that effect, and they wanted to see the film too. We see it again go on there. Now, as you watch this film, in a moment, you're going to be able to observe more clearly that the craft is actually above the Earth. There's a bit of a hill or mountain just below the time codes there. So clearly this was photographed outside. This was filmed outside. And this is one of the films that the owners of Uncharted Territory, the Academy Award-winning special effects house, they viewed this film and determined that it was not a hoax.
Yeah. Well, I think Bruce McAfee's analyzed most of his stuff, and he found some of it was fake and some of it wasn't.
CGI.
yeah, because some of it was fake.
Photoshop expert David Biedny claimed outside the camera.
And what is this thing?
So, guys, we'll have to
that's our
finish these
wedding
up.
cake.
It's our
How
wedding cake.
clearer
Right?
for skeptics photograph my glowing.
Yeah, see, there's the ones that just like,
camera.
And what is this?
He went overboard
Well,
with.
that's our wedding cake. Here, an even larger wedding cake UFO is photographed over a van on Meyer's property, and Meyer photographs it as well from underneath. These are very controversial photographs of the wedding cake UFO glowing a golden color at night. Here you can see various artifacts, trees, and perhaps light poles in the background. It's golden color with various protuberances underneath.
Billy.
That it was.
Anyway, guys, we're going to get out of here. No, we're going to do these for a couple of weeks, I think. There's just so much of this that needs to be going through. We used to do these twice a year. But really and truly, we're gonna bring y'all through some of these. Oh, I didn't even see everybody in the chat. Sorry, guys, I wasn't looking at the chat or somewhere else. Hey, Mark, Heidi, Sherry, you can see y'all in there. No, we're gonna do them for a couple weeks. So if anybody's got any videos they want to send along, feel free. Oh, by the way, if you're out there getting your new version of Writers of the Future, let me know. Send me your email, and I'll send it to John, and he'll send you some really pretty artwork. Yes. No, really. You just send me your email. Just say, hey, Joe, this is for artwork, and send me your email. Yep. What are you talking about, Sherry? No, we got to go because Michelle comes on in 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of this. I mean, literally hours and hours of this. So we'll get into some of the newest stuff, and we'll work our way backwards and show you the difference between some of the older stuff versus some of the newer stuff.
Yeah,
well, remember,
some
today
of the stuff.
we have,
what was the big flap in Mexico? It was like 2010s or something like that.
Oh, well, there was a big flap in the 90s, and then the 2025, 2010, another one. Mexico's always got some kind of crap going on down there.
Yeah,
it's aliens like the taste of Mexican, I guess.
El Dia de los Muertos.
They like margaritas? No, I don't know. Maybe it's just tequila. They like the worm. I don't know. Grays look like they would.
Syndrome.
Yes. Well, no, because no, Jack. Mexico isn't. Oh, people, I get tired of saying this. Mexico is in North America, not Central America, not South America. North America, and it wouldn't be in South America no matter what. Yes, no. The North America is Canada, the United States, and Mexico. And one day it'll be Cuba because, Cuba is going to get free.
Central America is only like 4 or 5 countries, like Guatemala and.
And I forgot. We looked it up one night. I know it was somewhere between 5 and 7. And they were all like, they were all like little shithole countries. Well, ask me that on Friday. Yeah. Well, no, we can take Panama back, but ask me that on Friday. It's not for the show. No, we're going to get out of here. But if you get some good UFO pics or something, or some videos you want to send us, We're going to go through them. I got quite a few on the iCar site we can go through as well. Oh, you want Jason to? Well, Jason's gone now. He's on the other side. He actually knows what these fucking things are. And excuse my language. Yeah, Jason. He knows the truth now.
Yeah, he's crossed the veil. Yeah.
Yes, he's on the other side, along with quite a few other people I know. So the problem with outliving all your friends. Jason was young. He was only like 43 or 45 when he passed. He was young. And another friend of ours, Mary, was even younger. They're both from diabetes.
Yeah. Philip Coppins was 41. David Wilcock, 53.
I've been reading.
Eric was in his 80s, I think, when he went.
I've been reading some of David Wilcox, like Marion Delicato said this has been going on in his life a long time. He said you shouldn't think this is alien related. This was something else. He's been struggling with depression. Some other people have come forward and said he had been struggling with depression. Sounds like,
It still seems weird though. His co-author and a publisher both, died strangely and mysteriously prior to him, just recently as well. So it's seeming more. It seems like there might be a possibility that it's connected to the 11, maybe 12 now scientists.
I wouldn't see why they're not even in the same realm of.
Well, David Wilcock did do some research in an area that was on exotic anti-gravity technology.
David wasn't a real scientist and had no degrees, and it's nobody.
Doesn't matter. He still worked for an aerospace science
No,
firm.
not at Los Alamos. You wouldn't. You have to have a degree to work at Los Alamos. You're not getting in there. You remember Black, the men, the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. They ain't continuing. They tell you that. You're not getting into any of these places. Come on, even the janitor who they said was Bob Lazar, even he had to get a degree just to be a freaking janitor. It's not something they play around with. It's you have to know your stuff. They can't be guesstimating your work. They have to know whatever you're doing the best that you can do.
If you're in an advanced science laboratory and you're the janitor and you accidentally mix the wrong chemicals, you could explode the entire laboratory. So you have to be at least advanced in chemistry, I would think.
You know what helped me to give Bob Lazar a break was the TV show Eureka. I was watching an episode of Eureka one night and they were showing the janitor and what he did. I was like, shit. Really, when you're talking about a facility like Area 51 or 52 or 53 or 54 or Los Alamos, it's a lot of stuff goes on in these places. So I imagine janitor's job is extra special.
and probably 1,000 times more dangerous. I mean, you could touch a substance that could kill you instantly.
Plus, you're going to get to see parts of the base nobody else is going to get to see.
Yeah, probably the worst parts of it too.
Yeah, maybe so, but you're still going to get to see parts of the other, and you're going to get
right. Yeah.
And when they bring in new projects and all, you're going to be one of the first ones to get to see it. So,
yeah, I guess that's true too.
Well, no, Jimmy, I think what happened in Bob's case is what happened probably in Billy's case and a lot of others' cases. So, ufology is a bitch. Mainly because it can make you famous, it can even put money in your pocket, it can do a lot for you, and then it's just as fast as it did it, it can yank it right out from fucking underneath your feet, just. And that's what happened. In Billy Meyer's case, it's what happened. Billy books were still making money, but he missed the fame, the adoration when he used to go to conferences and stuff. And I talked with Michael Horn about it. I mean, and I can understand that. You get to doing this. Anytime iCar broke something new and somebody was speaking somewhere, you could feel the adoration. I mean, it's something you can easily get addicted to if you're doing it all the time. But I knew from day one, ufology, you're only as good as your last thing. In David Wilcox's case, I don't even know the last time he was on Ancient Alien.
He has been on in a long, long time. He's been doing. I didn't even realize that he was doing a podcast until after he shot himself. That when they announced it. So if I had known that, I probably would have watched it. But it's what can you do? I mean, he did it. Can't be undone. You ring the bell, you can't unring it.
Yeah, and the way he did it, though, I mean, you don't call the police and walk outside and blow your brains out unless you're trying to make a statement.
Mm-hmm.
And not even the UFO field is calling it UFO related. They're thinking it's something darker than that.
Yeah, it could be, but that's for another show. And with that, we ought to probably wrap it up because
Yes,
Michelle
we need to
is
go
5
because
minutes into hers.
and she's probably cussing at Jay right now because she knows I would
Mm-hmm.
never do anything like this. Anyway, anyway, we're gonna get out of here. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. I think the next couple of weeks we'll be on this until I get unlazy. I've been promising guests since November of last year I was gonna bring them on, and I get pretty occupied with other stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I did. Well, that's why I always used to keep somebody to do guests for me because I always get it's not getting them, it's remembering to, send them the things and make sure they know what days and
Stay in contact with them so they don't forget. Or
I get
double
my
book.
brain. Double book. And I get spoiled too. So it's just one of them things. But anyway, we're gonna get out of here. So I want to tell everyone thank you for tuning in to United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. Like I said, we'll probably be doing videos for the next couple of weeks. I want to bring on Thomas Reed sometime in the near future and talk to him about a couple of things. But on that note, good night and check out Michelle. Go see what she's up to, what kind of trouble she's getting into. And and to whoever asked me that yesterday about the Gray Zone, yes, they are available, but it's members only on YouTube. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was the show was originally designed to pay for bills in the network. And that's what it was being used for until YouTube took the original channel away and it got retired for a while. But now it's back. Well, man, there's a lot of good shows in there. The one for O-Parts, for some reason, has been just ringing bells lately. I think it's because all that
cool
new
stuff.
Well, they got all that new information about the Egyptian stuff. So, James, let me put it this way. There is some information to suggest that they may have been using some type of water cutting tools. It still does not mean that it was done by anybody local. There are some new images of what looks to be. Well, the guy who wrote the article said elephants, but when you look at the pictures, they look like mammoths. They don't look like elephants.
Yeah, woolly mammoths.
Yeah, so more than likely they were using to move stuff around on appearance. Well, we know they were in America, in the Americas, 50,000 years ago. So they would probably could be found in Europe as well or in Africa. So,
and we know they're in Siberia, so I mean they must have come across the land bridge there.
So anyway, that's what they think they were in. And the other problem with all this is it puts this back 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,000 years. I'm saying we're just going to round it out at 15,000 for the sake of argument, but
I'd go up to 20,000 even.
It might be. See, our problem is we don't know exactly when we know the ice age was coming to its end 15,000 years ago, but where was the point where it really did all of that flooding? What expanse was that? 5, 10, 15, So we know it was 15,000 or more years ago when all that flooding happened. And we know in Egypt, it had to be more than 12,000 years ago when the plains used to flood there and the rain was regular. That was between 12 and 25,000 years ago. So that's because all the ice and all was there. It was melting as it approached the Middle East. And well, just because it was an ice age doesn't mean there wasn't still a desert in North Africa. It was still hot there. So the two were colliding together. That was creating that moist climate in Egypt. Yeah. Well, it's not the only place. I mean, you can look all around our planet. That there were beautiful vegetated areas and then deserts and places where there's now deserts that used to be oceans, especially in the middle of the United States. The whole freaking middle of our country used to be an ocean.
Yep.
And not just any, it was a deep freaking ocean at that. So anyway, we got to go. It's already 20 after. I'm surprised I ain't got an email. On that note, good night. Stay tuned. Hang out. Check it out. Everybody run over to Michelle's and say, nah.
Yeah. Tell her we sent you.
Right. Good night, everybody. See y'all Friday. And Friday should be an interesting. We got some new poll numbers coming out from our own polls now.